Hey guys, it's me, JC, and welcome back to my channel. So, in my last video, I said that I wanted to talk about my employees because it's been a roller coaster, and if you hear sounds in the background, I just fed my cats because they were getting really annoying and I didn't want them to be meowing really loudly throughout this video. So, this year, I think it was like around May-ish. I can't really remember exactly, but I decided I wanted to hire my first employee for my cleaning business because I was getting a little overwhelmed and I wanted to take some stress off of myself, and if I had an employee, it would just really help me. So we put out some ads on, I think we pretty much got mostly everyone that I hired from Indeed. We did put some ads on Facebook as well, but I can't remember if we hired anybody from Facebook. Anyways, not the point. So we did the first interview just over the phone because pandemic, and so I think we interviewed like 2 people. I think one person didn't answer when we called. We hired, actually, the first person I actually hired was Ross's brother's ex-girlfriend's sister. So that was kind of interesting. But she lasted for a week and quit. So she said like it was too much work. She wasn't expecting it to be too much work, but it's really frustrating because in the interview, like, we say, are you okay with standing on your feet for a long period of time? Are you okay with crouching? Are you okay with scrubbing? Like all of these things, and like, oh yeah, totally, it's gonna be great. And yeah, she only lasted a week, so not much to say about her. And then I was by myself again. And then I ended up hiring the best employee ever. She was with me pretty much until the end. So I don't really want to talk too much about her either because she's just great. The third employee I hired, when we interviewed her, we actually had them just on our front little deck balcony thing. We were becoming more okay with, you know, meeting people in person, just outside, and she seemed like a little bit like sketchy, maybe isn't like the quite right word, but she was like very fidgety, but she showed up early. She showed up in scrubs, like, because she worked for a different cleaning company, so she already had experience, and she seemed very reliable. So I thought, let's give her a chance. Should have went on gut instinct because she was a good cleaner. I did not have an issue with any of her cleans. Maybe she got like 1 or 2 complaints, but like I honestly don't even remember. They would have been very mild if she did. She was a pretty good cleaner, and some of my customers really liked her. The issue with her, it was sometime on the weekend. Ross and I had our engagement photos for later that afternoon, and I was like, you know, getting excited, and then I get a text. Oh, Careful decided to join. I get a text from her saying that she didn't want to live anymore and she was going to turn off her phone, and she thanked me for being so kind to her, but she was going to turn off her phone and I wouldn't hear from her anymore. I immediately showed Ross this message and said like, what am I supposed to do? And Ross said, we have to call 911. So we did, and since she's an employee of mine, I had her home address and like lots of her information. So we told them her home address and said like, I don't know if she is home, but this is her address. After that, like, I was a bit in shock at that point yet, but after that phone call, like, I started like messaging all my family members. Like, I was just like kind of in a panic. Like, I really didn't know if I would see her again. And, like, she had only worked with me for maybe like a month, maybe not even. So like, she was a fairly new employee, but like, I'm not heartless. I care about the people that are in my life. They're in my life for a reason, right? So we drove to her place just to see if she was there, if there was cops there, and yes, there was cops there. There was, I don't think there was an ambulance there. So we're thinking, okay, she's probably fine because there isn't an ambulance there. They probably, you know, got it all figured out. Then we watched the cops leave. And this was like a while ago, so I can't remember. I think she texted me first and said something like, why would you do this? You just made the whole situation worse. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I hate you. Like, pretty typical things that you would think somebody would say when, you know, you called the cops on them. So we ended up calling her and like trying to get down to the real issue of like why she wanted to do this in the first place. And she eventually, you know, broke down and said that she's just like really broke. She doesn't really have anybody in her life that is supporting her. So we said, like, I will take her grocery shopping, pay for all of her groceries, and Ross is going to take her vehicle, get an oil change, get it all filled up with gas. Like, we still want you to work for us. Like, firing you would not make the situation better. Yeah, I don't remember when, but I started to get like hysterical. Like, I was just like bawling. And yeah, when like on the phone when we were calling her, she's like, you don't even care about me. Like, you just called because you didn't want to get in trouble. And like, I'm literally hysterical, crying on the phone. Like, of course I care about you. Like, that was like very triggering. And it came back later. We were watching this show called like Texas 911 or something like that. And it was a girl on the phone to a 911 operator. She was overdosing, and the 911 operator was saying like, people care about you, like I care about you. And then the girl was like, you don't care about me, you don't know me. And I was like, oh my god, like, it was like triggering me, because like, how can you can't tell people how they feel. They feel, only you can tell how you feel. Like, oh, that was just like so like triggering to me. Anyways, so we did that, and I was so stressed out that day, and like my eyes were like so swollen. We had to cancel our photo shoot. There's no way I could do that photo shoot. And then I ended up getting a migraine because I was so stressed out. I think my body just needed to shut down. And the best way for me to shut down is to get a migraine, because I literally cannot do anything when I get a migraine. So yeah, she was not scheduled to work the next day. She took that day off. And then, yeah, she worked for me for a little bit longer, was perfectly fine, and everything was great. And then she messaged me again and said, I'm so sorry, I have to quit. I can't do it any longer. So when I went to her house to pick up my vacuum and my mop and my cleaning supplies from her, like, I was asking more questions about what was going on, and she said, like, I just found out I have cancer and I have to do chemo, and I've just been feeling really weak, and I don't know, there was like a whole bunch of problems with her. She said she had like really bad cataracts in her eye. Oh, she said that her tumor was in her brain, like behind her eye. I think that's why she couldn't see very well. I don't know. I didn't have any problems with her eyesight because her cleaning was perfectly fine. I don't know. She said she had a whole bunch of different problems. She told me that she didn't even know if her dad was dead or alive, and having her as my employee was really traumatic for me. Like, I know, like, maybe that's like a selfish thing to say, but like, even though she quit, and I don't even know if she's still alive to this day, like, I have no idea. Having her like leave to get out of my life was like very refreshing because she was so draining on my mental health. And like trying to be like her only support was really, really tough. So after that, I hired another girl, and she was pretty mediocre. I would say she does the type of clean that like a mom does, you know, like a very surface level clean. She didn't like really get in there and make the customer like wow. Like when I tried to train people, I said, like, you really need to like wow the customer, be like, I need to give that girl a tip, you know, like because everybody can do surface level cleaning. Like, it's a waste of money, right? You want like a really good, like, oh my gosh, they went out of their way to do this or do that or whatever. And yeah, she just didn't do any of that. That wasn't the issue with her. The issue with her was she ended up not having a driver's license. So she was driving illegally for me. She just had her learner's license. So yeah, we had to fire her because of that. So that was great. And then after that, I can't even remember who I hired first, but I hired this girl. She only lasted for 3 weeks, maybe not even. Like, it seemed like she was with me for like the shortest period of time. So what I do or have done with my potential employees is I'll take them on a trial clean. So I'll coach them about, you know, what products do what and where you should use them, and how to clean certain things, and then I'll go through it with them, and then I will kind of let them clean on their own, and then I will coach them afterwards if they made any mistakes. And this girl seemed really good. Like, I was very impressed with her, so I hired her on the spot. And I said, yeah, just make sure you have like your driver's abstract and a background check and like all these things that we need to do before we hire an employee, because they are going into customers' houses. We want to make sure that they don't have like a criminal background or anything. People need to, you know, feel safe when strangers are coming into their house and touching their belongings and stuff. She's like, okay, great. So we go our separate ways. Later that day, she messages me and says, hey, I really want to work for you, but I don't have a driver's license. So at this point, we could go a couple different ways. We could say, okay, you can't actually work for me. Or we could say, because I knew that she was a good cleaner, I could say, okay, we'll keep you, but you can only clean with other cleaners. You can't drive yourself, and you can't have your own vacuum until you get your driver's license. Are you wanting to get your driver's license like right away? She said, yeah, absolutely, that sounds great. I totally understand. I was like, awesome. I have another good cleaner, and she's gonna get her driver's license right away. So at this point, Ross and I haven't taken, actually Ross has taken quite a few breaks, but when he has taken his breaks, he's just, you know, been at home. But we were like, at this point, I've hardly taken any breaks. So I took a couple days off of work because I have, you know, 2 employees. I can't even remember. I have a couple employees, and I can take some time off. So we went to Banff, Alberta. It was nice. It was a nice getaway. Like, I've been to Banff before, but we went to like Lake Louise and like Moraine Lake. A couple different other places. We also went to Jasper for a little bit. We also went to Edmonton. I'm forgetting. Yeah, it was just a nice little getaway. This was like back when like things were very relaxed. In the pandemic, things have become a little less relaxed now, but anyways, we were at Moraine Lake, and there's absolutely no cell service there. So when we left and went to Lake Louise, there is cell service there, and I realized I had a missed call from her and like some missed text from her. And so they were saying like, hey, is like my good cleaner showing up? Because I'm here by myself. And I messaged back and I said, yeah, she'll be a little bit late. She's coming from a different clean. Do you have everything figured out? And she said, yeah, she showed up. Everything is good. Okay, good. I can go on with my little vacation and not worry about it. So I need to get their hours every day so I can, you know, see how much I have to pay them. She told me she was there from like 12:30 to like after 4. And I was like, how did you start cleaning as soon as you got there? Because the clean was supposed to start at 12:30, but you had messaged me that you were waiting for the other girl to show up. And she said, oh yeah, I guess it was more like 1:45. Okay, so I said, that still doesn't really make very much sense, because the clean should only take you 2 hours with 2 people, maybe a little longer if you're like you know, talking a little bit, or it always takes like a slightly longer because you have to coordinate with another person than if you're just by yourself. But she was there for so long. So then I messaged the other girl, the girl that I actually trust, and she said, oh yeah, no, we left before 4. So then I messaged her again and said like, hey, what's happening? And then the cleaner, this is hard without names, the cleaner I trust said that the other cleaner went outside multiple times just to sit outside on her phone. So then I messaged her and I said, hey, you were outside on your phone, like what's happening? And she said, oh, she said it was okay, like I was feeling a little bit dizzy, and I was only out there for like a couple minutes. Okay, so I said, oh, okay, so I'm just a little bit concerned because you shouldn't be feeling like super hot and dizzy for only cleaning for 2 hours. Like, that sounds like an issue. Anyways, it ended up being that she said like, if you don't trust me, I don't want to work for you, and she quit on the spot 2 minutes before her scheduled clean. So this was on a Friday. So thankfully we didn't take the entire week off, so we were at home. So I was able to help out with the clean, but I was there like a half an hour late. Like, who does that? So anyways, she sucked. I hired another girl, not very good. She had like, I think like 9 complaints or something by the time I quit my business. Like the same kind of things, like the floor or the bathroom tiles, or what are the other complaints she got? A lot of like underneath couches and stuff she wasn't getting. We kind of like gave her an ultimatum saying like, if you get another complaint we're gonna have to fire you. And she said like, oh, should I be looking for another job? And we're like, well, are you telling me that you're not gonna get your act together or what? So we said like, I'm not firing you, we've gotten so many complaints, and I've had, like, we lost a customer because of her. I've had to give back hundreds of dollars because of her in refunds. I've had to clean for free to make up for her cleans. So she was awful. But I felt like I couldn't fire her because I couldn't hire anybody else. And we even like upped what we were paying our employees just to see if we could get more people in, and it didn't help at all. And then the last girl I hired was just such an airhead. She would completely forget a whole bunch of times. Like I did clean my sister's house once a month. She was one of my clients, and so I gave her, like, because I would clean my sister's house, I gave my sister's house to my last cleaner. And the first clean I was with her every step of the way, there were so many issues. I'm so glad that I showed up and fixed everything, because she messaged me like an hour before she was supposed to be done her clean and said like, are you almost here? Because I didn't trust her. I showed up almost to every clean that she did, like the last like little bit, just to double check everything, because there was always something wrong that I needed to fix. So she texted me and said like, are you almost here? And I said, no, I'm just leaving Saskatoon. Why are you done an hour before you're supposed to be done? So it turns out she didn't have any floor cleaner, so she couldn't do any mopping. So I brought her floor cleaner, and I said like, why didn't you check your products? You didn't know you didn't have any floor cleaner? She's like, I completely forgot. Like, and I said like, what would you have done if I couldn't come out? And she said, I would have driven back to Saskatoon. So my sister lives in a city that's like 20 minutes, maybe not even, from Saskatoon. So she would have driven all the way back to Saskatoon, gotten a floor cleaner, and then driven all the way back to the client's place to finish mopping. Like, that's so unprofessional. So she was able to mop then. So I just kind of like walked around and tried to, you know, see how the clean was, if there was anything I needed to fix. And I went into the master bedroom, and there was sheets on the bed. So, hey, cleaner girl, why are there sheets on the bed? Like, folded up sheets on the bed. Oh, I didn't think those were sheets. I thought those were clothes. No, they're sheets. If there's sheets on the bed, you have to change the sheets. Oh yeah, I didn't think they were sheets. So I had to completely take, because she had made the bed and then she just left the sheets on top of the bed. So I had to undo the bed, take off the dirty sheets, put on the new sheets, and then I put the other sheets in the wash. Like, I can't imagine how angry my sister would have been. And then, so I was checking around the house for other mistakes. I go into the basement. As I'm walking down into the basement, she says, oh, is there something that we're supposed to do in the basement? I said, yeah, we're supposed to do the bathroom in the basement. Did you not read the notes for this clean? No, I didn't read the notes. Why didn't you read the notes? Oh, I forgot. So she completely just didn't do the bathroom downstairs. So great, I did the bathroom downstairs. Just little things like that was just so annoying. She was just completely forgetful. There was this one clean where the customer asked if she could wash the walls with how much time she had left. I said, like, absolutely, like maybe she could do like a couple rooms, like not the entire house or anything like that, but like a couple rooms. Yeah, so I said, I put that in the notes, made sure that she knew what she was doing for that clean. So she was done early for some reason, I don't know, because this house was quite large. I didn't know how she cleaned all of the walls in that time. She said that she ran out of her magic eraser, which magic eraser takes off marks off the wall, does not clean the wall. She didn't ask for that. She asked for the walls to be cleaned. So she was like waiting out in her car for me to come and check things over, because I have to check things over because I did not trust her. So I go into the house. I notice that there's spots all over the floor, like food particles all over the floor. So I said, the floor is terrible. So she fixed the floor. She didn't even clean the kitchen sink. The kitchen sink was completely dirty, so that needed to be done. She didn't wipe down the fridge. That needed to be done. There was like a couple other things that I pointed out. I didn't even look at the walls because there were so many other things that she had missed. So later that day, the customer messages me and asks me what walls she cleaned, because she could not tell that a single wall had been washed. So I messaged my employee like, hey, what walls did you clean? Oh, I cleaned this wall. I said, you cleaned a single wall? Well, yeah, that's all I had a magic eraser for. No, you needed to wash the walls with like a cleaning product and water, and like literally wash the wall with a cloth. So she was really angry. The customer was actually really angry. So I said, I will come tomorrow morning. I will come even earlier, like 8 o'clock. And I will wash your walls and like fix anything else that you had issues with. I was there for 3 hours, I think, completely free. I washed all of her walls. I like re-cleaned like her floors in her kitchen and like some other things she had issue with, like a mirror was smudgy, for completely free. And she was like so impressed, and she said like, I feel so valued as a customer. I'm like, at this point I'm so frustrated only having one good employee that I started to look for other jobs just to see what was out there. And yeah, when like I think a month or maybe even like a month and a half before I closed down my business, I was like breaking down, like bawling, because this was like way more than I expected. Like I did not expect it to be this hard, this time consuming, and this hard on my mental health. I actually ended up going and making an appointment with my doctor, and he said like, yeah, you have depression. So at that point I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is not worth it. I'm not even making that much money. I'm giving so much money back to my customers. So yeah, I quit. I quit. So yeah, I pretty much quit because my employees were so shitty. So anyways, I hope that you got some entertainment out of this video and my pain. And yeah, I'm not sure what I will do for my next video coming up here, but I'll think of something. If you have any ideas for what you'd like me to do, you can put them down below. But other than that, oh, Millie's down here. She blends in with the couch and the blanket so much, sometimes I like almost want to sit on her because I don't even see that she's there. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video of mine. Bye guys.